I'm Lily, 29 years old, and I can still see the soft glow of that April evening in our small Tennessee town, the kind where the air smells like blooming dogwoods and the sunset paints the hills gold. I was in my apartment, the living room lit by a single lamp, when I found the messages that broke my world. My best friend Sarah had been sneaking around with my fiancé, Matt, for months. The betrayal cut deeper than anything I'd ever felt. But what I did, exposing her at her own wedding, calm and calculated, made sure she faced the truth in front of everyone she loved. This is my story of heartbreak, anger, and getting even, told straight from my heart, right here in front of you. Sarah and I grew up together in Franklin, Tennessee. We were inseparable since we were kids, sharing secrets at sleepovers, cheering at high school football games, dreaming of our futures under the stars. I'm a florist, running a small shop downtown, arranging bouquets for weddings and funerals. Sarah was always the bold one, a real estate agent with a laugh that filled rooms and a knack for charming anyone. 3 years ago, I met Matt at a local music festival, his blue eyes catching mine as he played guitar on a makeshift stage. He was 31, a contractor, steady and kind, or so I thought. Sarah loved him too, always saying, "You got a good one, Lily." When Matt proposed last summer, a simple ring under the dogwoods, Sarah was the first person I told. She hugged me, tears in her eyes, promising to be my maid of honor. Matt and I planned a spring wedding, set for this May. We moved into my apartment, a cozy place with creaky floors and windows overlooking Franklin's Main Street, where the shops glow at dusk. Sarah was there all the time, helping me pick dresses, tasting cakes, her energy lighting up our plans. I trusted her with everything, my dreams, my love, my future. Matt and I would stay up late, the lamp casting soft shadows, talking about kids, a house in the hills. Sarah would text me ideas, send me Pinterest boards, and I thought she was my rock, my sister. But last fall, things started to feel off, like a flower wilting before you see the rot. It was small at first. Sarah got flirty with Matt, laughing too loud at his jokes, touching his arm when she thought I wasn't looking. Matt started working late, saying he had projects out of town, but his phone was always buzzing and he'd turn it away from me. I'd ask Sarah if I was overthinking it, and she'd laugh, saying, "Lily, he's crazy about you. Relax." But doubt crept in, like the April breeze chilling my apartment. Then, one night, I got my proof. Matt was out, supposedly at a job site, and I borrowed Sarah's phone to check a vendor's number for the wedding. She'd left it on my couch, unlocked, and a text from Matt popped up. "Can't wait to see you tonight, babe." My heart stopped. The lamps light harsh in the quiet room. I scrolled, my hands shaking. Months of messages, flirty emojis, plans to meet at a bar, even a photo of them together, her head on his shoulder, smiling like they were the ones getting married. I sat there, the apartment silent except for the hum of the fridge, the dogwoods swaying outside. I screenshotted everything, my fingers numb, and sent them to my phone. The hurt was like a knife, twisting with every word I read. Sarah calling me clueless, Matt saying he'd handle me. They'd been sneaking around since last fall, right under my nose, planning their future while I planned our wedding. I didn't cry, not yet. The pain was turning to something harder, angrier. Sarah, my best friend since we were 10, had stolen my fiancé, my trust, my dreams. Matt was just as guilty, but Sarah's betrayal cut deeper. She knew what he meant to me, and she took him anyway. I didn't confront them right away. I needed a plan, something that'd hit them where it hurt, something legal. The next day, I went to my flower shop, the scent of roses and lilies calming me, and called my friend Emma, a lawyer who'd helped me with a lease once. We met at a coffee shop, the windows fogged from the spring rain, the smell of espresso grounding me. I showed her the screenshots, my voice shaking. "Can I use this without getting in trouble?" I asked. She nodded, stirring her latte. "You can share what you found, as long as it's true, and you don't break any laws. Public settings like a speech are fine if you stick to facts." An idea sparked, slow and steady, like the rain tapping the windows. Sarah's wedding was coming up. She'd gotten engaged to Matt fast, setting a date for April, before ours. I could expose her at her own wedding, not with drama, but with the truth, in front of everyone she cared about. I spent the next week gathering more proof. I checked Sarah's social media, private posts, viewable to me as her best friend, showed more photos with Matt, captioned with hearts. I saved them all, my heart tight but my hands steady. I also found emails on Matt's laptop. He'd left it open, careless, planning a getaway with Sarah after their wedding. Each piece was a brick in the wall I was building. I called off my engagement quietly, telling Matt I needed space, keeping him in the dark. He moved out, thinking he'd won, and Sarah kept texting me about her wedding, oblivious, asking me to arrange her bouquet. I agreed, my voice calm, planning something bigger, a speech at her reception, where I'd lay out their betrayal for all of Franklin to see. That night, I sat in my apartment, the lamp casting a warm glow, the dogwoods blooming outside. I wrote my speech on my laptop, the words sharp but truthful, nothing she could sue me for. I pictured her in her white dress, Matt at her side, their smiles fading as I spoke. Part of me wanted to stop, to forgive, but then I remembered her texts, her laugh, the way she'd stabbed me in the back. I wasn't going to let her walk down the aisle with my fiancé and keep her perfect life. I'd expose her, calm and legal, and let the truth do the rest. And that April week in Franklin, Tennessee, felt like I was walking a tightrope, my heart pounding with every step. The dogwoods were in full bloom, their petals drifting across Main Street. But inside my apartment, the air was heavy with the weight of what I was about to do. I'd written a speech to expose Sarah and Matt at her wedding. My proof, screenshots, emails, their secret plans, tucked away like thorns, ready to prick. Sarah thought she could steal my fiancé, my future, and walk down the aisle with him, all while calling me her best friend. But I was done being her shadow, and I was ready to let the truth bloom in front of everyone she loved. Calm and legal, in our small town where secrets don't stay buried. The days before the wedding were a blur. I worked in my flower shop, arranging Sarah's bouquet, white roses, her favorite, my hands steady, despite the storm in my chest. The shop smelled of lilies and damp earth, the spring light filtering through the windows. Sarah came in, all smiles, her auburn hair catching the sun, talking about her dress, her vows, like I was still her maid of honor. "You're the best, Lily," she said, hugging me. I nodded, my throat tight, picturing the screenshots of her texts with Matt, her calling me clueless. I didn't let on, just handed her the bouquet and said, "It'll be perfect." She didn't see the edge in my voice, didn't know I'd RSVP'd to her wedding, not as a guest, but as the one who'd bring her lies crashing down. I met Emma again at the coffee shop. The rain gone, the dogwoods glowing outside. I showed her my speech, printed on a single page, my words sharp but factual. Sarah and Matt's affair, their months of sneaking around, their betrayal while I planned my own wedding. "It's clean," Emma said, sipping her latte. "You're stating what you know, no slander. Just be ready for the fallout." I nodded, my hands steady now, folding the speech into my purse. I'd practiced it in my apartment, standing in front of the mirror, the lamp casting shadows, my voice low but firm. I wasn't going to scream or cry, just tell the truth. Let it land like a stone in the middle of her perfect day. The wedding was on a Saturday, the Franklin countryside alive with spring, the hills green under a soft blue sky. I drove to the venue, a rustic barn draped in fairy lights, dogwood petals scattered on the ground. I wore a simple navy dress, my hair loose, the speech folded in my clutch. My heart pounded as I walked in, the air thick with the smell of roses and bourbon. Sarah was radiant in her white dress, Matt in a suit, his blue eyes avoiding mine. Guests mingled, friends from high school, Sarah's family, all smiling like this was a fairy tale. I stayed in the back, sipping water, waiting for the reception, my stomach twisting, but my resolve hard as the Tennessee hills. The reception was in full swing, the barn glowing with string lights, the band playing a slow country tune. Sarah and Matt danced, her laugh echoing, and I felt the hurt flare again, sharp and raw. But I waited, my speech ready, until the toast began. Sarah's dad spoke, then her sister, their words full of love. When the mic opened for guests, I stood, my legs steady, and walked to the front. The room quieted, eyes on me, Sarah's smile faltering. I took the mic, my voice clear, and started. I'm Lily, Sarah's best friend since we were kids. I was supposed to marry Matt next month, but Sarah took him, starting last fall. I have texts, emails, proof they betrayed me while I planned our wedding. I held up my phone, the screenshots glowing, and read one, Sarah's words, calling me clueless, planning with Matt. The room gasped, whispers rising like a wave. Sarah's face went white. Matt's jaw dropped, and I kept going, calm and steady, laying out their lies for all of Franklin to hear. I finished, my voice steady, and set the mic down. The barn was silent, the fairy lights flickering, the dogwoods swaying outside. Sarah stood, her dress shimmering, and stammered, "Lily, that's not true." But the guests were whispering, phones out, some nodding at me like they'd suspected something. I walked out, the spring air cool on my skin, my heart racing but light. I'd done it, exposed her, not with drama, but with the truth, legal and sharp. I drove home, the hills glowing under the stars, and felt the anger shift to something new, satisfaction maybe, or freedom. The town buzzed the next day. I went to my flower shop, the scent of roses grounding me, and heard whispers. Customers, friends, even the barista at the coffee shop talking about Sarah's wedding. "Heard you dropped a bomb, Lily," one said, smiling. Sarah's social media went quiet. Her Instagram stories gone. Her followers dropping. Matt moved out of her place, I heard. Back to his mom's in Nashville. Franklin's small-town heart didn't forgive easily. And Sarah's perfect image was cracked. Her betrayal laid bare. I got texts from old friends, saying they'd cut her off, proud of me for standing up. I kept working, arranging bouquets, the spring light brighter now. My apartment felt like mine again, the lamps glow soft, the dogwoods blooming outside. I wasn't proud of ruining her wedding, but I didn't regret it. Sarah thought she could steal my fiancé, my trust, and keep her fairy tale life. I showed her the truth has a way of blooming, like dogwoods in April, and I did it my way, calm, legal, and sharp. I'm 29 now, still in Franklin, still arranging flowers, and I've learned trust is fragile, but so is a liar's world. If someone betrays you, don't let them rewrite your story. Fight back with the truth, steady and smart. Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.